Hey everybody, it's Funny here once again. Hope you're doing well. Today I'm rambling about the Toadstool Tech Infinite Digits Ectocore. It sounds like this. Alright, we better get talking about this one because I am having a bit of a hard time getting it into my setup and I need to explore it together with you here on the video. So here's the quick disclaimer. I'm not affiliated with Toadstool Tech, Infinite Digits, or the Glasgow Synth Guild. I'm not affiliated with anybody. I'm just here to share my thoughts, my ramblings, my own opinions, my experiences in hardware, synthesizers, Eurorack, in otherwise electronic music. I hope to explore the Ectocore together with you, but like I just said, I'm having a little bit of a tough time getting it sorted into my system and drive drum tracks alongside it, so let's figure that all out together here. With that being said, the quick disclaimer part that I started a moment ago, I'm not affiliated with any of those people, but I also am not a journalist. I'm not here to sell it to you, assess it for you, present it to you, etc. I'm just trying to make my video blog and discover this here together with you because the Ectocore is a beast, especially in 8 HP. So just some quick random one-off thoughts on this module. I will disclose that I saw this announced years ago, I believe, or I saw the YouTube video years ago, and I was like, that thing is amazing. I always wanted to bring breaks into the Eurorack world, into my live setup, but I probably am just too unknowledgeable, too lazy to slice them up in, say, the Bitbox or another sampler in the rack, or I don't know how to use DAWs. I know, is that pathetic? But when it comes to the Ectocore, I saw it, I died for it, I begged, like I straight up begged the manufacturers on multiple accounts to send me a one for a video, to which they said no, and I instantly pre-ordered it, and now we have it here. So what is it? It is a sampler of sorts, but it is also many other things, and I want to say like granular in a way because it is so focused on the slicing aspect, but if you're here, you know what Ectocore does. It slices breaks, and we're going to go through the module, but I'll just say that everything on board is the stock, the included bank that comes at delivery, and a lot of the focus on this module is in the web interface and modifying it online, and it is super customizable, but I just want to, like, for posterity's sake, keep everything stock and pray that I don't get copyright striked. I will also say I wish there was a full manual because it seems like there isn't one yet. There is a quick start guide. It is useful, but I would like some help syncing up with my other drums, and I'll talk about that in a moment. So we're also going to do this, maybe so you can see my rig. Throw this little fisheye lens on here and jump around. So let's hear. Right now I am internally clocking it, and we'll just start by pointing at the Ectocore to begin, because then we'll start talking about other things and how it all pans out across this. And sorry, a little bit of adjusting. So there's tap tempo on board, and I sort of feel like this is how you're expected to drive it, but I just want to, like, this is where my mind is at for the moment, is there's, in trying to get it hooked up to the other system, there's no real way to tell, as far as I know, out of the box. And I also feel like the Ectocore, just knowing, like, how Isaac and everyone is really involved in the community and everything, and I believe it's open source as well. I feel like there's going to be so many updates for this one, so again, you never buy something based on hopes that it'll change later, but I'll just say in the case of the Ectocore that all of this stuff is brand new and it may change drastically by the time you're watching this video. So with that being said, I feel there's no way to, my original thought was there's no way to know what the stock tempo is of the included samples. So everything's pitch shifting, time adjustable, if that makes sense. So like this break, I'm not using an external clock. I'm going to turn off the reverb just for posterity's sake, I guess. So I can tap in a super fast beat and it pitches way up, which is fine. If we tap in a super slow beat, it pitches way down. But I'm just playing a guessing game right now at trying to know what the original BPM was, and that's fine. That's not what the Ectocore is for, but I just wanted to point that out because in trying to sync it up with the rest of my system, I was finding that like the clock divisions are a bit of a weird thing because like, so it's time stretching it. Say, I don't know what the BPM of this is. Obviously, I could like tap it out elsewhere and sync it up in that way. But is the Ectocore going to stretch it way up at a 4 times clock that I'm sending it from PAMs, or is it going to stretch it down based on that? So it just, anyway, it's hard to know. Just drive it in and jam it. Basically, everything on here is very like novel, and like the workflow is just like jam it, I'd say, at least in my current setup with it. So let's go through everything on board. There is the break knob. Again, if you're here, you probably have watched a couple videos on this already, and but we'll go through it again. So break is the largest knob on here, and it's interesting because this is the effects probability, I believe. So this is like how often the effects trigger. So if you have used the data bender, you'll recognize that sort of like, so it's not effects blend, it's effects probability. So when you crank it all the way up, it's going to trigger constantly. And if you crank it all the way down, it's going to trigger probably never. I do believe it actually cannot be bypassed completely. I am of the belief that that little light means that there's a little bit of probability still on, but regardless, those are the big knob is the probability control, and this LED light, while in this case it just gets more and more intense, it does a lot of things to, you know, lack of screen, it presents things to you, and I'll show you an example. There is a bunch of shift functions on here, and in the terms of the break, this acts as the volume knob. So you see it's using that LED lighting to demonstrate that to us. And getting into the orange territory, it starts to get overdriven, and then you can absolutely destroy it. And I really like that. I just feel like, anyway, I don't know how many like brain rot breakcore listeners, enjoyers there are in Eurorack, but for me, I really like that. But for everyone's sake, we'll keep it in a normal territory. But there's also shift functions for this DJ filter. And hopefully you can hear that. We got low pass to the left. High pass to the right. And that's fun. I love the DJ filter. However, I have the overseer later on down the chain, but it is super cool to know. We also have a gated chopper. If you do this, it gets sort of into this stutter effect. So there's performance stuff on board. And I'm not going to die on this hill, I'm not, but I almost feel like I would have preferred the shift functions to be the core functions, the performance tools, and have the Aimans behind the shift button. But anyway, that's neither here nor there, nor is it a pain to use it in its current state. But let's turn this down a hair. The Grimoire. Sorry, I need to pull out the Ectocore tool because, again, there's no full manual, at least in this at the time of writing. And I'm also going to make a conjecture on what is going on in these effects. So the thing is, and I'm just going to straight up show y'all the tool, because production value, right? But if you're here, you know we don't do production value here on this channel. We do this. So there's this online tool that I was talking about, and you'll see that there is 4, 8, 16 different effects in the 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different grimoire banks. So going off of what's default in the web app, I'm going to make assumptions about what these are. So they are not distinct effects. These are effect banks. And by that, I mean, this isn't just a delay or a reverb, which it is probably neither, but it is a collection of different banks that are defined by said web app. And in the web app's default configuration, we're going to assume that the first one, and these are all from the Glasgow Synth Guild, I can see, and we have our amalgam. I'm going to butcher this, sorry. I have rarely left North America, never mind, anyway. So amalgam is the first one, and this is a fuzz distortion, lossy compressor, and bit crushing reduction with frequency filtering. So if we crank this, that's the first one. I think this display now is showing which effects are selected, but it's hard to know. So if we get into the second bank, I believe this is delay and reverse. Yeah. The third one, this is tree. And it has time stretching, delay, automatic panning. Oh, and a little bit of reverb right here too. And to be honest, I'm not even... There's so much going on that it's hard to even know which one I've selected, and it also seems to have more than 8 steps. No, maybe not. This is delay effect, comb filtering effect, reverberation effect, retrigger effect. You know what? It's hard to know, and I'm just going to read off a list of all the effects you get to choose from, because you get to choose your own banks. So if you're into it enough to get an Ectocore, you're probably into it enough to customize it. You can choose from fuzz distortion, lossy compression, bit reducing, bit crushing reduction, frequency filtering, a time stretcher, a delay echo effect, a comb filter, beat repetition, which is what you're probably going to want, a reverberation, automatic panning, slow down tempo, speed up tempo. I am wondering now if some of that is causing issues with my trying to sync up the slow down tempo, or the speed up tempo is causing some sort of issues with syncing with the rest of the rack. But there's reverse audio, retrigger, and retrigger with pitch shift, and tape stop effect. And I wonder if maybe these effects are the cause of my sync problems. But anyway, that is the effects. And man, do they get crazy. Now, with that being said, moving on to the Aiman knob, I'm going to be doing a little bit of reading from the manual because I'm a little fuzzy, and again, it's all playable, it's fun, it's enjoyable, but the Aiman knob and this attenuverter, attenu randomizer, if you're a all that esoterica got me thinking about make noise. If you are a mutable instruments fan, then you know attenu randomizers. We have Aiman knob on the left, and then the attenu randomizer is on the Aiman. Oh, sorry. Hold on, these are both for Aiman. Okay, that would be what the arrow... Okay. Oh, interesting. Okay. That actually helps it make sense in my mind. So the Aiman knob is on the left, and then the Aiman attenu randomizer is also for the Aiman. So the Aiman knob, this knob controls looping random jumping of sample slices. Like a Turing machine, fully left, the sample will play as normal. So right now you hear the entire thing. But then as you increase it, turning the knob, cycle through the looping slice patterns. Steps go from 1 to 16. And then when you really slam it, it just does this. And I think using odd number of slices will also add some sort of weird timingness to my to my troubles. Anyway, let's just add some more slices so it'll jump around. This is fully write the pattern will generate a new pattern every loop. with the FX fill in between the loops. Wow. Okay, so here yeah. Wait. Yeah, and then it goes back. Interesting. Okay, so that's the Aiman knob. And then you can override this if you send the Aiman CV externally. So we won't be doing that part, but we will be looking at the Aiman attenue randomizer. So with no CV controls, the amount of randomization applied to slice jumping. So I have a bunch of slices here, and it's going through them. And you'll see it's kind of hanging out in this part of the buffer because there's more slices in that area, I believe. But if we crank up our attenue randomizer, to the left is more chaotic. And again, see the LEDs demonstrating that. To the right, it's more in line with what the playhead would reach at the end. But again, this is so fast. Let's slow it down a bit. Chaotic. Interesting. Again, I'm just using tap tempo. We'll go back to the middle. And we just want a little bit of randomization and a couple slices. Add some effects. Now, with all of this applied, I'm going to cycle through samples a little bit. And so there's samples that go through the, I think there's 12 per bank. And it jumps really quickly because I believe the web app has sort of digested your samples beforehand, and then so they're already ready to go and ectoified, I guess. So that's how you go through your current bank, but then you press the bank button to cycle through banks. And I believe there is an Easter egg on here. Hope I don't get copyrighted. Hope they wouldn't. There's a there's a Tito. There's a Vocaloid. Sorry. There's a Vocaloid Easter egg here somewhere, I believe. We have to find it. Maybe we won't find it in this video. Again, I feel like the crossover between people who even care about Vocaloid and people who are into Eurorack is like very slim, but there is a slim section of us out there. So that's that. And then part of our sample digestion, sorry, I'm breaking everything as always. Part of our sample digestion, there is sort of like kicks assigned, kick snares and perks and random. So you can take this trigger output. Oh, we got some effects going, and assign it to something else. Now, I did find this, I don't know if I have, so I want to beef up my kicks. So I'm taking the kick out. Yeah, so in mode, you see we're in kick mode, and I'm sending this to, I'm going to use that fisheye that I intended to use at the beginning of the video, sending that to the Ultra Kick to beef it up some more. So if I take that out of the trig, this is perk. I don't know if it just didn't identify any perks is why it doesn't. Yeah, then there's this mode, which I believe is, as I say, actually fun other Easter egg in the quick start manual, the mode number and the trig output are mislabeled by number. They're just reversed. I know, this is the kind of crap that Eurorack people concern ourselves with. Anyway, we have, let me just see if I can find the mode. No, it doesn't describe the mode. So yeah, this one's random. I think it just will go through a different one every cycle. I'm assuming, but again, nothing in the manual just yet anyway. See, this seems to be in clock now. Why was I having issues with this before? Maybe I was too sliced? See, no triggers coming out now, though. Oh, no, there they go. So yeah. See, and then the other thing, I want to use the clock output just to sync some kicks to it. And you can adjust this by, if you hold it down, it will change the clock division down, or press it to increase it. But it still doesn't sound quite on time. I don't know why that is. Try a different bank. Try no randomization, just do the whole thing. That's better. Maybe it's because I'm not using effects. Turn down my kick a little bit. See, now it seems to be in sync. I don't know what was. I wish the filter was after the effects also. Because when it comes out of them. Well, see, now we're in. I don't know what my problem was before. Sorry. Yeah. I like that. So I get a beefy kick and then a bunch of high end from the Ectocore, right? Randomize. More slices. Overdrive it a little less. Slices. Yeah. Now we're talking. Filter after. Overseer. Who would want this in Eurorack? Let's go. Reverb. Bank change. I haven't even overdriven it yet. Internally or externally. Externally. Ooh, I like that. Change my filter bank, or the effect bank. See, the problem is I have no idea what's going on there, which is fine, but I don't have anything to say about it, that's for sure. When it comes to the effect, we're changing it, they're all glitchy. Okay, now we're talking. Take my kick out. Let's try to do that kick again. Will this trigger it? Yeah, it will. Let's bring that kick in. it's interesting too, the effect will stop the kick, right? So when it's doing that big build up, that big fill, it's not sending triggers to my kick. So yeah, that's probably another reason you want to use the clock output. Bring it down a division. Let's make my kicks donk. And make my it's the brain rot module. Oh, there we go. Start it all the way. Yeah. You're not allowed to have fun. Eurorack. This is no fun zone. You need to worry about rack crash and the condition of the modules when you resell it used. Oh, I want to go back. What was I just on? You're a noise artist. Oh, I want to find that Vocaloid song. I just love glitchy stuff, and I'm gonna try real quick and show you my struggles with, because again, this is a video blog and not a demo. I'm allowed to struggle. I sound like I don't know. This is what I tell my therapist. I'm just kidding. So I'm setting clock in. If I hit play, and just for demonstration, we're throwing this back on. And we're gonna swing this over here, send triggers in. Just I want to show you where my head's at. So if I'm doing 4 on the floor with my ultra kick. Sorry. So that's in sync now. If I stop it, bring in my synth line. If I add more divisions, seems in clock now if I change banks. What is even happening? Maybe it's because there's no reset input. So if I pause it, it has a mode, and there was a setting in the on the website to change. When it stops receiving clock, it just pauses. So maybe it just needs some stopping and restarting. because lack of reset? I don't know. Anyway, that is the very basics of the Ectocore. Glitchy, slicey, everything I like in Eurorack. I'm breaking everything on my desk. Yeah, I will definitely be making more videos on this one. I need to run in the data bender. I need to break it. I've got Aiman's on the mind. I need to bring it into the world of the rest of my drum kit. But for now, just wanted to get my first thoughts, my first experiences with it. And appreciate y'all for watching. Thank you so much. Take care. And I will talk to you soon.